What's going on? It's Fist bringing you some more Black Ops 3 from me to you because that's what I do. And so I was on Twitter and I seen Thunder tweet out a video in response to Drifter. And so Drifter had posted a video about what needs to be fixed in Black Ops 3. And obviously, everybody's entitled to their opinions. Everybody has a vision of what they'd like to see the game be like. It's their opinions. It's not the opinions of the majority of the people out there. My opinions are not the majority of the people's out there. But my response is to both of their videos. So, whatever. I mean, and maybe they're just doing it for views. I don't know. I don't care. But I did take the time to listen to Thunder's video, and I did take the time to listen to Drifter's video. I mean, they both make their own points on how they play the video game. I mean, based on their position, and I'm sure that pro players and everybody in the community is going to make a decision as to how they want the game to be when they play this. It just depends on what variant Vaughn is going to release at the final um, version. Now, my opinions are going to be based on my gameplay for the Xbox and the PS4. I didn't play the PC, so I can't speak for that. Um, but based on extensive gameplay, I played like I don't know how many. I got to level 40 something on every one of them, and there's a couple points I disagree with Drifter, and there's a couple points that I agree with, and agree with on with Thunder. I mean, one thing is this that I can agree on that's based on my own opinion, and I'm gonna start right in with it, and that's flinching. For some reason, everybody has a problem with flinching in this game. I had two different levels of how I thought about it. And I'm just going to touch base on the most important things and how that could change this game at the end. Flinching, you have to look at the game. I mean, we can't look at Black Ops 3 and think it's Black Ops 2 and you get into these long battles and you're flinching and you think, okay, I can't get to a guy, he's behind cover, so therefore I probably should need toughness. But the game is built differently. The game is built around movement, how fast you can get from point one, point A to point B, how well you traverse the map, how well you know the map. So when people complain about flinching, all I can say is this is that the game was designed with movement. So you're going to have to learn how to move and shoot at the same time. The only way to reset yourself when shooting at somebody is moving. And if you're just going to stand there and the person gets a shot on you and you think you're going to, you know, um, get a battle with him and win and not move, you're going to lose. That's the way the game was designed. For David Vonderhaar to turn around and start adding like more battles into where the game is, not played as is intended to be played, so characters will stay not moving, and it turns into a camp fest because now if anybody's here's a point that I'm trying to make. If you add in more flinch into the game, or you take away flinch, let's say you take away flinch, and it's just you get into these gun battles where people could just shoot each other and just stand there. So the point being is this: there's no point in running on the wall or jumping or whatever type of movement, sliding. There's no advantage to that. So this game is full of head glitching spots. But in order to get to those head glitching spots, reminiscent to Black Ops 2, you got to move and traverse to that area. If somebody starts shooting at you, you're going to have to learn how to use your joystick to dash left, dash right, boost down, slide, which way to get out of that situation. If a person's just going to camp there and that's what they're going to do, then there's other things in the game that can get around that, like smoke, stuns, flash. There's grenades. There's tons of things to get people dislodged out of their camping position or the fact that you get caught in a one-on-one fight. I mean, if we take it at the rawest form of flinching, if you get caught in a one-on-one fight, then you should move. If you don't move, that's your fault. Flinching has nothing to do with anything. It's the fact that this game is built around movement. It's not built around Black Ops 2 where there's tons of head glitching spots. Yes, they're in this game, but the new aspect of this game is moving. So I don't think flinching should be touched one way or another. If David Von Hart's listening, flinching it should not be affected in this game. You know, if you're going to get into battles with people and not move, then I suggest you look at some other things. You need to, I'm not going to tell you how to get around that. It's in the game. You need to learn to play the game longer. And just from Drifter and whoever else complaining about flinching, that you can't make a big change like that just because the game's only been out for 2 weeks. Let the game develop and let people figure out how to beat certain things. So, and another thing, and talking about so I'm going to leave flinch at that. I could tell you, how to beat flinch all day long in this game. There's easy ways to do it. There's certain aspects of this game that trump flinching. And if you know how to do it, if you watch my streams, you probably know what they are. I talked about it in my streams. But I'm not going to sit here and give it all away. I'll do videos upon videos upon videos slowly. Hopefully the light bulb will come on in your mind and you'll figure that out. What I hope that doesn't happen is that they just get rid of flinch altogether. Then it'll just nullify this game. This game will revert nothing back to Black Ops 2 and camping behind sites, and it'll be terrible because there'd be no point in running, because if you run out and you get caught in midstream, then you're going to have to battle and you're going to lose, whereas you get rewarded for movement, and if you get to jump on somebody and you know how to move better, you're going to win the fights. And that's the way it should be. That's Black Ops 3. So if you can't handle them, then this game isn't for you. And I think that's the evolution of Call of Duty. People want something different, there it is. If you can't adapt to it, go back to Black Ops 2. This game isn't for you. And then the next thing. There's other things that haven't been seen, like Tac Mask and Ghost. So I can't comment on those because those aren't really, they haven't been played enough to know the value of those perks. So dealing with that is just ridiculous. Changing perks, taking out specialists, bringing specialists in. The game's only been out like 2 weeks beta. How do we know to take these things out? We don't. You can't make those decisions unless it's a game breaker and it makes it really bad. The fact that Rejack is last stand, and they took away your streaks, yeah, it's great they did that. There's still usefulness in that perk or in that specialist. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is like Sparrow and those grenades, and I think the Sparrow shouldn't explode unless it hits the person you're shooting at. Many a times they shot at a wall and it just explodes. It's ridiculous. And the infinite range that arrow has across the map is also ridiculous. They need to nerf the range on that. They need to nerf it to the fact where if it only hits you, it should explode. And then I want to talk about weapons. Nerfing all the weapons in beta and then hopefully when the final game comes out is ridiculous. They nerfed the MA, they nerfed the X2, they nerfed the Shiva is ridiculously, terribly slow. And based on this game, and I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't want to give away everything. But when Drifter said that snipers need a buff for aim assist, he's out of his freaking mind. There's no way that a sniper needs a buff, because if you buff the snipers and you're nerfing marksman type weapons, there's nothing standing in the way of a sniper just blasting away at you, one-shot kills, and no matter what you do to get close to them, you're going to lose. And if you have multiple snipers and you make it easy on them, you're going to kill the movement in the game. First of all, when you nerfed all the weapons in beta, you automatically made the sniper stronger, because when you bring down the damage and the time to kill for other weapons, that in essence makes the sniper rifle have the ability to reset and still have a one-shot kill on you. So, I mean, if you get into a character that is caught in a flinch animation, but you're not killing him because the time to kill was taken away from you, and then all of a sudden the sniper, he can reset, you're dead. So what's the point of that? There's no point in that. Um, the Shiva, some of the other weapons, the X2 and the M8, in some regards, I know the Shiva is just totally useless. I'm going to tell you right now, the 3-round burst pistol, for certain reasons, is better, 80% better than the majority of the weapons in the assault class. And that's the bottom line. So, and I'm not going to tie that in there. If you could figure it out, that's good for you. But that's why when I talked about flinching, I'm kind of at a crossroads with flinch, because flinching is tied to something else, and it's just really complicated, because if you add in flinching, or if you give it the ability for people to have more toughness and taking more hits, then the game will even get worse. There'll be less weapons that can kill. I mean, the game will be whittled down to the games will last longer and it'll take longer to kill. I just think that, the whole thing of having this game is to have fun. And if you start changing one thing, the domino effect starts happening. You make sniper stronger, that means everybody else has to work harder. I mean, okay, if you have one class of people who use sniper and everybody else has to work harder, then how much fun is that going to be? We already learned this lesson like a bazillion times. I mean, if you want snipers and esports to be the best categories in Call of Duty, why does Activision not make a separate IP just for that? Why not make Call of Duty Sniper esports game and see how many people buy that game? You are torturing the casual community when everything is based on changes from esports and the social community of this game that are a small minority. The majority of the people who play this game, they just come home, they want to have fun. What's the problem with having fun with the game? I mean, why do we have to make one style and set of rules to the extreme answer to everything? Esports, okay, these weapons all need to be nerfed because, when we have esports tournaments, these guys are complaining because certain weapons, and we're going to whittle it down just to the FAMAS and snipers. I mean, what fun is that? I'd rather have every weapon really close and they're all pretty much the same. Just have a good time. Why is that such a big deal? I just don't understand that. And so, at the end of the day, I don't think anything needs to be changed. I think the Shiva fire rate needs to be buffed, because that weapon sucks even with an increased rate of fire or rapid fire. It's garbage. It's terrible. A pistol can own it up close easily. It's terrible even at long range. Long range, M8 owns that weapon. The Shiva has nothing on any weapon. On any weapon. It gets owned by everything. I mean, all it is a camping pre-fire weapon. It's terrible. I mean, you could beat it all day long. The XR2 is slow. And the M8, they nerfed. And maybe if you put rapid fire, I didn't get past that to where they put that on there at that point. And then the rest of the weapons are pretty much garbage because of movement. Because even though they have certain abilities to them, I mean, SMG and a pistol will beat it all day long. And so, like I said, I mean, the game is based around movement. If you don't design the game, or If you don't design the game around movement and fun, this game is going to be a disaster. Stick to your guns, David Vonderhaar. You built this game based on, slide, move, dancing around, whatever, Titanfall slash, Advanced Warfare slash whatever, Destiny. Let's just have fun. What is the problem with people just enjoying themselves? Why do we need all these nerfs? Why don't we get all these? Instead of having nerfs, why not have buffs? I mean, what's the problem with having buffs all the way across the board? I'd rather have more weapons to use than less weapons to use. I'd rather have. I don't care that Reject gets to keep its streaks. So what? Let people enjoy themselves. I don't see the point. I don't see what's the problem with letting people, you know, have fun and get multiple kills and whatever. I mean, other people will get it. They'll finally catch on. And to be making these changes, all these changes, and this is what I don't get. You had 3 years to play this game. And I'm quoting you. You had said somewhere in an interview that your test team would catch anything that was out of the norm and wasn't balanced or wasn't right to the game. What, you don't believe those guys who test your weapons 24/7 I mean, if you play a game for a year, and that's basically the time frame in which they play the game. I mean, it's probably compressed. They probably played like 3 years of this game multiplayer. And they know the end game of every weapon and how it's going to wind up and what combination to beat what. It's already been determined. Now, because of some couple people in the community, esports community, whatever, I mean, because they're socially popular, they're going to change it for everybody, the majority, and the end game is going to be changed, and it's going to be terrible because people are going to find out the end game faster when you have a huge group of people playing this game. And when they find out the end game faster, it might wind up dying like Advanced Warfare died before Christmas. I mean, that's the fastest Call of Duty I've ever seen died. And now that they're trying to put like the M16 and the AK-47 in the game, forget it. It's over. It's a year later. You should have done that way before. I mean, it would have been exciting to see that before COD Champs, they put in the M16 and the AK-47. But instead, they were so scared, shook out their boots, they didn't mess with nothing. They didn't want any backlash. There's a big upheaval before Champs. They just rode that wave right in and killed everybody. Killed this game. And that's why it's 75% off, like day one out of the box, and nobody's playing it. So I know David Vonderhaar is not going to give in to every single need or want that the community has, but he is weak to snipers and he is weak to esports. So I would not be surprised if snipers are some super ass character and stuns and flashes are useless, and then you're going to have to resort to smoke and LMGs, and it's going to turn into a camp fest, because let's face it, snipers are only going into rooms for clips. They don't go in to play the game. And so they just ruin it for everybody. And that's another thing. Esports is based on 4-on-4. It's not based on 9v9. So the changes they make for esports can affect a bigger playlist over 4v4 all day long. So it's not meant that way. And see, that's why I say, if the esports and sniping is such a big ass community, why don't you go make the game for them and see how many units you sell? I don't see. Put your money where your mouth's at, because you can't. There's nothing you can justify the changes in these games for the small group of people out here who want those changes made. So, anyways, I think the game, there's a lot of great, and unless I'm going to end this with a positive note. This is probably one of the best Call of Duties that I've played in a long time. When the first beta came out for the PS4, I thought it was excellent. Excellent, majestic. I made a video about it. But then by the time it got to Xbox One, they made all these crazy-ass changes, and you could start to see it fading away. Like, I'm happy I got to play it those 2 weeks. I'm so thankful I got to play it on the PS4. This gameplay right here, it was awesome. The P90 needs a buff. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed everything I had to say. I say Let everybody have fun, buff everything. There's no problem with that. But that's not going to happen because esports is a big thorn in this game side. It's not going to happen. Anyways, post what you want in the comments. If you don't feel I'm just rambling or whatever, you don't agree with me, that's right. It's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. You want to hit me up on Twitter at Fist, F1ST. Feel free to do so. Until next time, it's your boy Fist. Peace. I'm out.